Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2022 Wayne-Westland Memorial Day Parade. My name is Patrick Harity, and I'm your Master of Ceremonies. I was in the United States Navy from 2004 to 2012 with 3 deployments. Why are we here today? People call this the unofficial start of summer, and they're partially right. But it's always pertinent to stop and reflect on what Memorial Day actually is. Giving our invocation is Daryl Austin, United States Army veteran, chaplain from VFW Post 9885.
All right. Good afternoon. Let's pray. Lord God, we come before you today humbly and united to honor those who gave the greatest gift of love, that they laid down their lives for their friends. I pray we would honor these men and women, not just in words and in history lessons, but that we would serve each other and be doers of good, and let them be our example to the way that we live our lives. Unify us as a community and as a nation. Let us be good neighbors and good citizens. Let our patriotism prompt us to action, that is, to serve, to do unto others as we would have them do to us. Let these men and women not just be a memory, but let them drive us to do good deeds. Lord, I pray that you would guide us in the ceremony and that you would turn our hearts to you. Heal our land, O God, in our community and our nation. Let your will be done here today. Amen.
Leading us in the national anthem is John Glenn High School and Wayne Memorial High School marching bands. Will everybody please rise? Please be seated. Our first guest speaker is the Honorable Mayor William R. Wild from the City of Westland.
Yeah! All right.
Hello, everybody. What an amazing day here in the All-American City of Westland. It's great to see everybody come out today and support all of our veterans. And we'd like to just take a quick second here just to recognize all of our veterans that are with us here today. Let's give them all a round of applause. We also want to just take a quick second to recognize all the people that worked hard to pull off this parade. It's not easy to do a parade that's a joint operation between the cities of Wayne and Westland, but they work on it all year round, and the folks from the BOVA VFW Hall and a lot of other people, let's give them a round of applause as well. Well, Memorial Day is seen by some as the unofficial kickoff of summer. And in Michigan, I guess that's okay, because around here we got to take summer whenever we can get it, right? Sometimes it doesn't show up till Labor Day. But as we know, it's so much more than that. We take this time to honor those brave men and women who courageously gave their all in service for our country and defending the freedoms that we all cherish today. It's nice to see so many veterans today that have answered a call, that are with us here today, and would like to say thank you for your service. And it's great that you're here, that you can see us and hear us tell you, but there's so many more that aren't with us today that they can't no longer hear those words. And that's what today is all about, to honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice, to remember those who left families and friends to do a job that they never returned from. I'm pleased to see so many young people here today. They're with us here today. They were along the parade route. And it's important that they know what has been done for them and for future generations, and what continues to be done. And I know that some of them will no doubt go on to serve our country, because as they can see, there's no higher honor than serving our country. So hopefully some that are with us today will step up and do that on behalf of all of us. So today, let's remember those who gave all and support their families, and the servicemen and women who hurt the most today. Once again, thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you, Mayor Wild. Our next guest speaker is the Honorable Mayor John Racy from the City of Wayne.
Good afternoon. I'm honored and humbled to join you today. Thank you to the veterans, Mayor Wild, and the City of Westland for hosting this event. Today, at events like the one here in Westland, it's Veteran Memorial, as well as other memorials across the nation, communities come together to remember and to reflect on the service and sacrifice of those who paid the true cost of freedom, our fallen comrades. To some people, Memorial Day is just another holiday, or to others, it's the unofficial start of summer. But to me, Memorial Day is a day of remembrance. It is not a day to remember battles or wars, but a day to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice in defense of our nation. As you know, Memorial Day has officially observed the first time on May 30th, 1868. And today we remember over 1 million American heroes who have given up their lives to keep us free, to defend our values and protect our way of life. I would ask you not to only remember those we honor today at this ceremony, but to keep our soldiers who are deployed defending our freedom and their families in your thoughts and prayers today and every day. God bless you. God bless our communities. God bless the greatest nation on earth.
Thank you, Mayor Racy. Our next guest speaker is Ronnie Cyrus, Sergeant First Class, United States Army, retired.
Thank you. I hope you can all hear me out there. Some people say, oh, Sergeant First Class retired, what's he doing up here? I also happen to be the National Deputy Director for the Federal Transition Assistance Program that advises and helps all of our soldiers that come back, not just to the state of Michigan, but through our 54 states and territories as well. I'm also the NFL military ambassador to the National Football League, and it's something that I'm just very, very proud of, to continue my service after 23 years in the United States Army. I want to thank Mayor William Wild and Mayor John Racy for being here. Our we've got Westland and Wayne City councilmen and women here today. I'm sorry I don't have all your names, but thank you so much for coming out today. And Kevin Coleman, State Representative, County Commissioner Glenn Anderson is here. And I want to say a very, very special thank you for being here today to Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib. Last year, I met Rashida Tlaib at this very event. And within several months, we were able to work on a project together, and Woody Williams is the last remaining Medal of Honor recipient from World War II. He is now 100 years old, still drives a three-wheel motorcycle, actually one of those little Batman-looking cars, and he still goes around. And his grandson just retired from, his grandson just joined the Marine Corps, and we helped put a resolution together to have Woody Williams laid in state at the Capitol building. He will be the first non-commissioned officer laid in state at the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. when he dies to represent our nation's greatest generation. And Congresswoman, I can't thank you enough for your assistance and help with that. Memorial Day is a somber day for many of us, especially those of us who have worn the uniform. And I'm reminded of a saying that a very, very good friend of mine said years ago, Korean War veteran Frank Delbert Barbie. He says, "Death ends a life. It does not end a friendship, and it certainly doesn't end a relationship, because no fellow service member is ever forgotten until their name is no longer spoken." I have heard this on more than one occasion, and it just hits me so hard when I think of folks like Holly Magoo from Taylor, Michigan, United States Army. Holly Magoo had been grooming herself for the Army since she was in high school. For 4 years, she was a cadet in the Junior Reserves Officer Training Corps, the JROTC, at Truman High School in Taylor, showing up once a week in a uniform decked out with medals that she had earned. Her guidance counselor said she was totally dedicated to going into the Army, that was her destiny. That's all she wanted to do. Holly enlisted in the Army on April 1st, 2002, on her 17th birthday. And just a few months after that, while many of her high school peers were still working after-school summer jobs, Holly was headed for the real thing and was fulfilling her destiny and was assigned to the 4th Infantry Division at Fort Hood, Texas. Holly's family in October of 2003, a female soldier was killed in her division, was killed near Saddam Hussein Palace gates, and Holly's family spent days fearing the worst nightmare had come true for their family. But Holly, 2 days later, called home to tell her family that she was fine. Holly also assured her family then, and think about this from an 18-year-old girl. She said, "Mom, Dad, remember, if I died for a reason and a cause that I believe in. I just want to make the world a better place where I'm at." On the last day of January 2004, Specialist Holly Magoo had been in Iraq almost a year when she and 2 other soldiers were killed by a roadside bomb that exploded as her convoy passed Kirkuk in northern Iraq, and Holly lost her life. She was 19 years old, and as of today, Specialist Holly Magoo is the only Michigan servicewoman to have died in combat overseas in Iraq. It was the Union General William Tecumseh Sherman who said, "It is only those who have neither fired a shot nor heard the shrieks and groans of the wounded who cry aloud for blood, more vengeance, and more desolation, because war is hell," unquote. We should be mindful and try to remember that the decisions that lead to war are those of our policymakers, not the veterans themselves, and certainly not by the Gold Star mother or father who has lived the nightmare and continues to live it after receiving a knock on their door and tried to listen to the words of a casualty notification officer that does their best to not stumble over the words on behalf of the Secretary of the Army or the Secretary of Defense and on behalf of a grateful nation. I've delivered that speech 6 times, and it's harder each and every time. Sometimes the mission is clear-cut. In World War II, millions were liberated and truly evil regimes and ideologies were toppled. The price, however, can still be unbelievably painful, as Emma and Willie Leibrecht had experienced before they passed. The Jewish couple had fled Nazi Germany with their 2 young sons in 1938. 7 years later, in 1945, their 2 sons, Fred and Alfred, made the supreme sacrifice for their new country while fighting Germans in Europe. In his book, Brothers in Arms, author Kevin Callahan noted, "The memory of those 2 brave brothers who escaped Nazi Germany only to perish in its destruction will live on as long as we say their names." And this is why we are here today, to recall not just the memories of Holly Magoo and the Labresh brothers, but to honor the sacrifices made by over the million heroes who have died while defending this country since the American Revolution. That sacrifice is painfully shared by the Gold Star families, next of kin, and close friends of these heroes. Most of us will not truly understand the depths of their despair unless we have experienced it. But what we can do is offer our support and our simple gratitude. We can speak their names. We can place flags and wreaths on their graves. We could donate to the charities of their families or a cause they were passionate about. And we can look at their surviving brothers, sisters in arms, and say what Medal of Honor recipient Jim McLuhan from South Haven, Michigan says to every veteran he comes across. And it is simply, thank you for my freedom. When rounds are coming your way, there is no such thing as a small war. More than 1,600 Americans have lost their lives fighting in covert operations and Cold War battles that occurred between the designated war periods since the attacks on Pearl Harbor. We do our best to honor their sacrifices as much as we honor those lost on Iwo Jima or the frozen Che-Son, jungles of Vietnam, deserts of Iraq, and the mountains of Afghanistan. We are here today to honor all of our fallen heroes. Fallujah in the Philippines, from Quezon to Kandahar, and Beirut and Baghdad to Grenada. We honor American heroes who have fallen from the American Revolution through the global war on terror and each battle in between. The location is unimportant. It is the hearts of these men and their dedication of these women that truly matters. It is the devotion within them that led them to sacrifice their lives for a country they may not have always agreed with, but a country that they loved. It is hard for us, the living, to equate ourselves with those who have made such a sacrifice. The surviving loved ones, however, do not have to look very far to find their heroes. As Specialist Magoo stated to her mom, "If I die, I died for a reason and a cause that I believed in, because the world is greater than myself." We should all look into our own hearts. May we only not find our heroes, but we can examine what type of country we live in. No matter what critics can say about America, can a nation that produces such remarkable men and women be anything but a force for good? To our nation's critics, both internal and external, I say this. This nation is far from perfect, just like any other family that's here today. I know my family pokes the fun and dysfunctional, but it is the flag of this nation that so many have served that provides for this nation, a flag that also serves as a healing blanket that does its best to right the wrongs of the past, to give us hope for a better and all-inclusive future so that we can be proud to do more to create a future America that is worthy of such a sacrifice. Because of the Gold Star family, we must insist that our policymakers always consider the true cost of their decisions and only send men and women to war and into harm's way when all options have been fully considered. War is seldom the best policy, but the heroes that our nation has produced in times of war are the best that America has ever created. Lieutenant General George Patton said it best, and I think he would edit it to say men and women today, said it is foolish and wrong to mourn the men who died. Rather, we should thank God that such men and women lived. So say their names. Thank you for being here today to remember those that have gone before us. God bless our Gold Star families. God bless those who wait for us on the high ground in the afterlife. God bless you, and God bless this America that I love.
Thank you, Mr. Cyrus. Why are we here today? To many Americans, Memorial Day is the unofficial start of summer. Many will gather today to have a barbecue and grill some food. People will go to the beach. Whatever way Americans enjoy Memorial Day, it's important to stop and reflect. I used to get mad at people celebrating today. I used to think people were being disrespectful. But then I realized that those who gave our lives for us would not want that. They gave their remaining days so that we can live ours in peace. In a way, we are honoring them by living well. We honor them by living in a way that deserves their sacrifice. I have received a letter from a woman whose uncle was at the Battle of the Bulge. Reading this letter, it's extremely difficult. It elicits raw emotions of what these brave Americans went through. Reading it, you begin to hear the echoes from the past. Up to this time, the battalion positions had not received much artillery fire, but then it came. The Jerrys threw everything at the book, and I think they threw the book at us too. There was not a house in Rimling that was not hit at least several times. Early the next morning, a shell made a direct hit on the company command post, killing 3 men and wounding 6 others. Again, I had escaped injury or death. During the day, the Jerrys moved their tanks into position where they can place direct fire on our lines in the town. The men could not leave their foxholes. It was impossible to take rations, ammo, or water to the men. They ate snow to quench their thirst. Food? What's that? In our day-to-day lives, it's difficult to imagine going through that. But that's the reality of what happens in war. Oftentimes, life becomes simple. There isn't too much to worry about but the simple things. Watch this road. Guard that bridge. Hold the ground. The little corner of ground being held by the battalion was about the easternmost piece of land in the entire sector. Other armies, other divisions, other regiments, other battalions and companies reeled back with the main counteroffensive, but the 3rd Battalion held fast. To hold the ground meant everything. It was nothing behind the battalion. If the Germans broke through, it would have become the southern arm of a huge pincer movement to join with the wedge in the north and threaten large portions of 2 American armies. The battalion commander, Colonel Esbit, knew that the men in their foxholes, unable to move for long days and nights, hungry and sleepy from restless attacks, could not hold much longer. Hold, he told them. We can't, they answered. The tanks are firing directly into our holes. Hold, said the colonel. It's impossible. The men have not slept. They have not eating. They suffer from trench foot. They suffer from exposure. No one can maintain this position. Our lines are too thin. We have lost too many men. We will break soon. Hold, said the colonel. And they held. How can anyone hear that and not feel something? I cried my eyes out the first time I read that. But throughout American history, that theme has happened often. Hold. Many Americans have given their last breath with that simple word. Hold. They sacrifice their remaining days and anything they may become just so we can enjoy living in peace. How do we repay them? Yes, there is a price. Every American who serves in the military writes a proverbial check. It's payable to the United States of America. The cost is up to and including their life. Many of us veterans have paid a little bit of that cost. Some of us have paid a little more. Those that have lost their lives in combat or to their inner demons back home are owed a debt to us by us. We owe them. I heard a quote somewhere that it was something along the lines of, be the type of American worthy of their sacrifice. We honor them by living our best selves. We honor them by going to the cemeteries and saying their names. We remember them not only today, but every day. We do that, we begin to pay back the debt we all owe them. Now for the presentation of the wreaths. First up is the American Legion. Next wreath being presented is the Veterans of Foreign Wars Auxiliary from BOVA VFW 9885. Next wreath is VFW BOVA Post 9885. Next wreath being presented is the Vietnam Veterans of America. Next wreath being presented is the Wayne-Westland Schools Transportation. Next wreath being presented is the Norwayne Citizens Council. And last but not least, the last wreath is Westland Meteors. At this time, I would like everybody to please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, following by the ceremonial lowering of the flag to half-staff. Present arms! I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the ceremonial lowering of the flag to half-staff. Present! Halt! Now we will have the playing of taps by John Glenn High School and Wayne Memorial High School trumpet duet. Phenomenal job. Please be seated. A prayer and a ceremony like this does not happen without not only the participants of everybody here, but for many of those working behind the scenes to help it come together. I want to recognize our Grand Marshal, David Reitzel, United States Navy, retired. There are many people from VFW Post 9885 who've put a lot of hours in. Commander Mike Rakita. Dan Stachow. Even though I'm the chairman and the master of ceremonies, Vic Barra is basically who put everything together. So Vic Barra puts everything together. Look at him trying to be modest. But thank you. Thank everyone here for attending the parade and the ceremony. That way, all these service members who have died, they are not forgotten. That concludes the ceremony. Thank you, everyone.